Hi my loves, welcome back to my channel. I'm back and this is just like a conversation video. As you guys can see by the title, this is like my favorite podcast to listen to. I really wanted to share this with y'all because podcasts are like a major part of my life. I've been listening to them for about 3 years, almost 3 years now. And they have been so beneficial. It's changed my life for the better, depending on what podcast you listen to, obviously. So that's why I'm here to share my favorite podcasts. So if you guys are interested in seeing what podcasts I love to listen to for motivation, self-help, just plain old entertainment, then keep on watching. Alright y'all, so I started listening to podcasts about over 2.5 years ago. And yeah, because I had a job. I started a new job tomorrow actually, but I had a job where I could listen to stuff while I was working. I used that to my benefit. So pretty much I felt like I was in need of something. I wasn't sure what it was or anything, but I knew that I could listen to something while I was working. So instead of listening to music, I decided to look up podcasts. I had heard of podcasts, like I had never listened to a podcast before, and yeah, pretty much I had an Android at the time, so I downloaded an app called Podbean. So if you have an Android phone and you want to listen to podcasts, then download the app called Podbean. I have it, written up here. And yeah, so that's when I started listening to podcasts. And also on SoundCloud, they have podcasts on SoundCloud as well. So yeah, between Podbean and SoundCloud, and then when I got my iPhone, they had podcasts already up there on the iPhone. But pretty much my first podcast, let me go to it, that I started listening to was called Laugh or Go Crazy, Inspiration and Laughter. If you know me, I love to laugh. I love something that's going to make me laugh. I love inspiration. So I started listening to them. And that wasn't really like self-help. It was more just like them talking about their life. And like it was inspirational. So I love listening to them. They don't really upload podcasts anymore, so I wouldn't recommend them to you. I just want to let y'all know how I started getting into podcasts. So yeah, it was Laugh or Go Crazy. Y'all can go back and listen to their old podcast, but like I said, they haven't uploaded a podcast since March of this year. So yeah, then on I went to I don't know if you guys heard of her. Her name's Lori Harder. She's like an fitness model, and she has a podcast. I had never heard of her before, but she has a podcast called Earn Your Happy. So obviously I was like trying to find happiness, I guess, at that time in my life. I didn't know what I was searching for, but I love the title and the description of these podcasts. So I was like, okay, let me click on them and listen to them. So yeah, Earn Your Happy, which I love her. She is a consistent podcaster. She uploads great podcasts. She interviews individuals, and they pretty much tell their life story, how they got to where they are, whether they're business owners, entrepreneurs, whether it's in nutrition or fitness, anything, but pretty much how they got to where they are in their life. Successful people. And that's what I was looking for. That put me on this journey to happiness and finding out how to get to where I want to be in life, where what's successful to me in my eyes. So yeah, then I went on to Secret to Success by Eric Thomas. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. If you haven't, where have you guys been? E.T. I love Eric Thomas. This is where like where my life changed once I started listening to Secret to Success, the Secret to Success podcast by Eric Thomas. Now this is like inspiration, motivation. I absolutely love Eric Thomas. This is probably like my favorite podcast. It's just a bunch of men, so you wouldn't think women would be interested, but the things that they talk about, when it comes to business, life, pretty much success in all realms of life, your marriage, your relationships, everything. I absolutely love them. They do make a lot of like sport references, but I mean, that's no problem. You can understand where they're coming from, because I believe everybody loves sports. But yeah, that's probably my number one podcast that I would recommend to you guys, which is The Secret to Success with CJ and Eric Thomas. I love them so much. Also, I have another podcast that I love. It's called Let It Out with Katie Dalebout. It used to be called Secret Wonderland or something like that. I don't remember, but now it's called Let It Out with Katie Dalebout. And I'll have all the links, all the names of the podcasts down below. I really love her. She kind of does what Lori Harder does. She has people on her show, on her podcast every week or every time she records, and she interviews them, getting their life story about how they may have struggled to get to where they are now and everything, and they just have a lot of questions. So I just love that because I love hearing other people's stories because we all have our own story. We all go through things, and that just lets you know that you're headed in the right direction when you not necessarily compare, but when you hear somebody else's story, it lets you know that you're on the right track. So it just gives you confirmation. So yeah, I love to listen to this. Also, my second favorite, I know I'm all over the place, I hope y'all don't mind, but I can't believe I skipped over this, is the Gary V audio show. I'm pretty sure, audio experience. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of Gary Vaynerchuk. I believe I said his name right. If not, it's Gary V. He's great. He had a successful wine business, and now he's pretty much has his own brand or whatever. I love Gary V. He will definitely motivate you. If you're trying to start out as an entrepreneur, you feel like you don't want to work for other people, you want to work for yourself, you want to work on your own time, this and that, you have an idea, he will push you and motivate you to get it done and just start. And I love Gary V. I definitely recommend him because he keeps it real. I love when he visits the Breakfast Club. I love the Breakfast Club. It's also, they have a podcast, but that's on iHeartRadio. Gary V is awesome, and he uploads like multiple times. He uploads pretty much every single day on the podcast, so you'll get a lot of podcasts from him. Like right now I have 121 different podcasts from him. I don't know if you guys can see, but yeah, that I haven't listened to. He's amazing. Love him. And just some other ones for like entertainment that I listen to. Angela Yee's Lip Service. I love Angela Yee. Her podcast is about like sex and relationships, which is very entertaining. I love it a lot. I know, I mean, we all, are into that. So yeah, I definitely recommend that if that's something that you're into. She has a lot of celebrities on her show, and she pretty much gets in their business when it comes to their sex life and their relationships and stuff like that. Also, for like relationship podcasts, I listen to the Casey Crew, which is by DJ Envy and his wife Gia Casey. I love them. Me and my fiance Travis both listen to them, and it's like a great, topic starter or whatever. Like it's a great conversation starter. Like me and Travis will listen to it the day that it comes out by ourselves. Then we come back together and we discuss what they talked about. I don't know, and it's a nice thing to have for you and your partner, your husband, fiance, or whatever, your husband and your wife to discuss and talk about. It's like a great conversation starter, so I love them. Another relationship podcast is called Relationship, Sex, Dating, and Marriage Advice. Yeah. And it's called the I Do Podcast. Search them. They're great. This is a couple. They haven't been married too long, but they interview different relationship therapists, and they give advice on all those topics: relationship, sex, dating, and marriage. So if you're single, engaged, married, anybody can listen to this, because as you're single, you can prepare yourself to be in a healthy relationship. And I love this podcast a lot. I definitely recommend you listen to it with your husband or your wife, your partner, whoever it is. You listen to it with them, because it's kind of like a therapy session, because they actually have actual therapists there on the line talking about it. And just improve your relationship, because relationships are very hard. Trust me, they are very hard, but it's totally worth it, once you get through the hard things. So yeah, I definitely recommend that podcast. Yeah, those are probably like my favorite. Oh, also, I just started listening to the 2 Peas in a Pod podcast. It's another married couple. I love listening to couples anyways, but I love them. It's kind of falls on the same basis of you being an entrepreneur, having your own business, and living on your own time. That's kind of where I am, and that's where I want to be. That's my goal in life. That's what success is to me. We all have different ideas of success. Success to some people is graduating from college and getting a job. that's not success to me, because that's not what makes me happy. So we don't try to, you know, define your success because this is someone else's success. This is what someone else thinks is success to them. So remember, just stay in your own lane, do you, figure out what you want to do, have your own definition of success, and go after that. So yeah, I don't know, if you're like me and you want to have your own business, you want to work on your own time, you don't want to work for any other people, you just want to live life and be happy, because I feel like that's how everybody should be living, doing what they want to do on their own time. Whew, don't get me started. I'm all over the place because my mind just scatters. It's just scattered brain when it comes to this, but absolutely love this topic. So yeah, if you guys have any podcasts that you guys listen to, just leave them down below, because we all would love to know. I would love to know of more podcasts that are kind of in the same realm as these when it comes to entrepreneurship, love and relationships, happiness, finding your happiness, you know, anything that has to do with life and that's going to help better ourselves. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. I hope I wasn't too all over the place. I wanted to share with you guys my podcasts that I love. I'll have them listed down below, because like I said, I want to apologize again. I was all over the place, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to thumbs up and comment down below, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye.